the NFL wrapped up its Week 14 slate last night in Jerry World as Joe Burrow put on a show and beat the Dallas Cowboys. The Bengals now with 5 wins hold the phone. Are they eyeing a super wild card spot for wild card weekend? And if Joe Burrow gets into the playoffs, we all know anything can happen, especially if they play offensively like they did last night. Jamar Chase is all over the place. Chase Brown is going bananas. T. Higgins now, if you hear what Joe Burrow said afterwards, thinks that he's not only on the Bengals now, doing shit for the Bengals now, but he's going to be back in the future. Special teams flub happens for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, that's a tough position to be in whenever you sign a guy about 2 days before, the game, and he's probably never played a special. Burp, can't touch that. Okay, since it's past the line of scrimmage, it is still considered a forward punt. So once the receiving team touches it, boom, that thing is a live ball. And obviously, people are told that a lot of times in meetings from special teams coaches and in practices, but until it's a live action, live bullets, and you may have never played a special team snap before in your entire life, and it can all get a little confusing. Wait, it's blocked, so it's a blocked punt, so we can scoop and score this thing. It's a live punt as soon as it leaves the line of scrimmage or gets past the line of scrimmage. And, Cincinnati Bengals kicker Cade York had a girlfriend who is a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. We learned that. And a punter had a blocked punt that ended up winning them the game. So special teams all over the place for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Bones right there, who is a phenomenal special teams coach. I think everybody would say that. It's been highly noted. His celebration to, we just schemed up a blocked punt whenever we are a tie ball game here in the fourth with a backup quarterback, we're going to win. To, worst decision ever made. Why'd you even touch that thing? Peter, where is everybody petering this entire thing? Old buddy was trying to make a play. Was he going to scoop and score that thing?
Actually,
his brain. Scoop and score that thing?
Out of the way.
Yeah, I don't know what he thought it was going to happen, but obviously a mistake. Hopefully he'll learn from going forward. And then Joe Burrow would obviously take advantage. Jamar Chase, who is also Maggie on The Simpsons, one cut off and running. Congrats to the Bengals on a big run.
Bengals.
It was the Joe Show, has been the Joe Show for a long time over there. His outfit going in last night to Jerry World lived up to the hype. A lot of stripes.
Clean.
Yep. Very clean. Very
fit.
That guy looks cool. Guy looks super cool right there.
That's what that is, yeah.
Jawline phenomenal, too, when he's talking. And the hair is just like, he's got these calyx, and I got them as well. Mine are not as cool as his are just cool.
Sweet.
And whenever he goes bananas on a football field, it is fun to watch. He is now, making history, obviously, and there's stats for everything in this world. Joe Burrow is the 4th quarterback to have 300 pass yards and 3 passing touchdowns in at least 4 consecutive games. Wow, this stat was presented earlier, I think, on another show. These other two here. Burrow's QBR this season, 74.1, would be the highest in a season by a quarterback who doesn't make the playoff in the history of the stat. That's since 2006. So this is kind of what everybody's talking about whenever it's like Joe Burrow deserved a win at the end of that game, because Joe Burrow has been having this historic season. Joe Burrow has accounted for 78% of Cincinnati's offense this season by net yardage at the end. That leads the NFL, obviously. Almost 80%, one guy. Doesn't make it happen in this entire thing. And he has started 72 games, including playoffs, and has had a 100-yard rusher with him 8 times only. So at the end of that game, I think a lot of people said, I think commentators even were saying, like, good for the Bengals. They finally get one of these. I think it's more so like good for Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow has to be the leader of that team, so he can't find any happiness in these games that they lose. But the way he's been playing, the way this offense has been playing, and the way they've been able to lose the games that they've lost, it is good for the Bengals. And now they're lurking. Now they're in the hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Now can Lou Anarumo in that defense get enough stops whenever they need to move forward? They were certainly able to against the Cowboys last night and Cooper Kush. And not a bad Monday Night Football game. Let's go to the Talks Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. I know both of you tuned into the Simpsons edition of it. Ty, what were your thoughts on it? And then Conman, I would like yours as well.
Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, Dan Dolovsky just crushing it. Mina Kimes, a Simpsons super fan, and then Drudel. You couldn't have asked for a better booth. The zaniness, I'm watching it, and the first thing I see is, are those strawberry frosted donuts for the uprights?
Oh, yeah. They were?
And they were, and then just, what was it, the first drive of the game? Homer Simpson dropping back on 4th down. I don't think it was this play, but Homer Simpson drops back on 4th down and throws an absolute seed to CD Lamb.
Yeah.
I mean, it was neat. Would I want to watch a whole football game like this? Holy shit! No, I wouldn't.
Whoa.
Very hard to watch game.
It is.
It was very hard to watch game. I didn't expect it to not be as much football as it was. And like they were playing football,
Without a doubt.
but it was very hard to actual watch football game here.
Exactly, and I almost like forgot that like, oh, I can. So like when you see CD Lamb like catch and then gets tackled and then his body just slides like 17 yards, I was like, okay, I should go back and see like actually
Did
what
he slide?
Yeah, like what happened
Like
there.
Chase Brown there. Chase Brown on the little swing was Maggie, and she skirts in for a touchdown. He literally trampolined into that Salvation Army kettle.
Yes. Yeah.
His jump into that thing was one of the most impressive base jumps I've seen in a long, long time. And then they took it away because they called it out of bounds. They took his celebration away from him. He's not going to be able to do that. Yeah, watch it. Do we have it all the way? Do we have it all the way?
Yes.
Look at this guy. Boom.
Boing.
Look how he almost overshot it. This guy almost overshot. Couldn't even celebrate.
Yep.
Ball.
Couldn't even get the hell out of there. Okay, you stepped out of bounds. You dipshit. That's what the ref said. And then we watched the replays back. It's like somehow he did not actually.
Absurd.
And all the angles had like the perfect string of green in between the cleat and the sideline. What a touchdown, what a moment. But then Maggie, she just ran.
Yeah.
She just ran into there, so you didn't know where she was going. Had to go over to the other side, see it. And then there was the Manning cast as well.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I didn't get to see Legend on her. Was he playing?
Yeah, he was.
He was playing. That's one half of the Hammer. Don. Cowboys AP tone. I saw Chris Collinsworth tell the story about the slide-in, the infamous slide-in. Al Michaels had in his contract that he is the first minute of Sunday Night Football. So Chris Collinsworth had to actually get out of the camera contractually, and that's how it started.
What?
He told that story last
Pretty
night on the
cool.
Manning cast. He was like, it started with me basically just being bent over a table like this here, and then just standing up. That's how it started. So then I guess whenever there's a little bit bigger booth, you know, some of these stadiums have a bigger booth, and some of them are real small, crappie kind of actually. And then these new stadiums have bigger ones. So then he was in a chair out of the frame, and then he would come sliding in at 61 seconds into the
Perfect.
Wow.
right into the thing. Yeah, so he told that story on Manning Cast, so that was good. We had a good night of football, it feels like.
Yeah.
Let's go to 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler.
Yes,
D-Buck.
sir. Nobody had a better night than Jamar Chase.
How'd you feel about the game? Yeah, let's talk about it.
I mean, good game. I felt good about my Cooper Kush pick in the first quarter, but obviously the Joe Burrow and that offense has been absolutely phenomenal. You see all year long why, quarterback, wins aren't really a stat. It's a team stat. Burrow's been phenomenal, but Jamar Chase obviously came into the season trying to get a contract done. Watching him last night, watching him all season long, he is on the path, obviously, for a triple crown, leading in catches, leading in touchdowns, leading in yards. I mean, he's just so good. He's probably going to hold him hostage, tell him, hey, I want Soto money. I'm not coming in at the market, mid-30s.
He should.
I want a
Give me what
suite at
Soto
the stadium,
got.
too.
Give me a blank check. I mean, watching him, like, obviously he's in the conversation for, best receiver in the league right now, but if you see his trajectory from starting the league, him and Justin Jefferson, obviously, like, they could be in the conversation when it's all said and done to be, one of the greatest of all time when you're talking about Jamar Chase for sure.
Shout out LSU, obviously becoming a wide receiver university there for a good bit. Jamar Chase is phenomenal. Remember, this is without a training camp, basically. This is like, this is all happening. Remember, the offseason, he has 2 years left on his deal, this one, and then next year, he said he wanted money because the wide receiver market was going through the roof, and we don't know how long that's going to happen, but Jamar Chase was sitting at home, and he saw a lot of receivers that he was better than, making 20x what he was making. Like actually going to be 20x what he was making in his contract. So he said, nah, that ain't going to happen. And we all knew that Cincinnati Bengals were probably not going to budge on that, because that's Mike Brown football. He is the owner of the team. They just decided to sell the naming rights of their stadium so that they can profit off of that. Like,
Smart.
They view it as, here's your contract, okay? You play out your contract. We're playing football here, okay? This is a football team. This is a football business. Well, we need like a scouting department that everybody else. Oh, you don't want to do it, coach? You don't want to?
Oh, okay.
We want football people here. So they've always been in a fashion where it's a little cheaper.
Sure.
But I feel like more focus on just we're football, ball. So whenever he says with 2 years left, I want a new deal, everybody around Cincinnati that knows them are like, that's not going to happen.
Jamar.
That is not at the Bengals. Anywhere else, maybe. He might have been able to get a deal in some places. Let's say 15 of the teams in the NFL would have given him a deal, especially because of how important he is to it all. But I think everybody thought, no chance here. T. Higgins franchise tag. Joe says he thinks he's going to be around going forward. It's like, I don't know how the Bengals will do it, if the Bengals will do it, but if they're able to keep this crew together, you are talking not only Jamar Chase being, you might talk about the best, trio in offensive juggernaut history.
It'll be hard to keep. I know Joe wants him there, but it'll be tough to keep him there. Once again, once Jamar gets what he gets, which is obviously well deserved, T. Higgins is one of the best number twos out there. A lot of people see him as a one really playing in that number two position on the opposite side of Jamar. But it'd be tough to keep that crew together, especially with Joe Burrow being paid. Didn't he get paid off after his third year?
Yeah,
so
year left.
So some people may have thought that Jamar would have been in that conversation as well with being how good he is, because that cap is only going up. That number's only going up. So it'd be tough to keep that crew together, especially with seeing all the deficiencies on the defensive side of the ball that they need to fill in to actually be contenders.
Yeah. If they end up paying everybody and they build that indoor bubble and then they sell the thing, what if Cincinnati Bengals are for real for the next 15 years? But they're going to have to figure out that defense.
Got to.
Yep, that's who Joe should be saying money should go to, probably.
No, I mean, they can go 8 and 9 and have all of them stay.
I mean, the offense,
it'd be cool.
The offense is doing just fine, okay? Whether T's there or not, the offense is going to be fine with Jamar and Joe. Defense, they need a little bit.
I think T. Higgins deserves a little bit more respect.
No, I agree.
New England's going to give him $35 million.
Yeah, T. Higgins, hell of a ball player, but you're saying
Great ball player.
You're saying they don't have to pay $25-30 million for a T. Higgins wide receiver in that particular room.
Yes.
Going to have to keep Jamar Chase. Who knows what he's going to get paid? So you paying T. Higgins probably before you end up having to pay Jamar Chase, how much money are we giving from one to give to the other in the wide receiver room is what you're saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying. And what I'm actually saying is, like, the offense is going to be fine as long as Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase is there. The other wide receivers, while T is amazing, T's going to be a great Steeler, okay? He's going to do the Patrick Queen. He's going to come from a division rival. He's going to be a Steeler. He's going to be unbelievable. The Bengals offense doesn't necessarily need T. He had 2 catches last night.
Yeah, agreed. But he opened up things for Jamar Chase.
Sure.
That's what happens whenever you have 2 good wide receivers. You know, you need to have 1 great tight end and 1 great wide receiver, or you need to have 2 great wide receivers, or you need 2 great tight ends, because 6 eyes can't be on 1 guy.
Yeah.
It has to be able to go other places.